Right. 3, 2, 1, go. So, my name is LishousTV, and this is Halo 4. Now, we start off in the cryotube because, 343 isn't the best at making starts of games. But Dawn gives me a lot of time to explain certain mechanics of the game. Now, we're just gonna wait here. Wait for the cryotube. It's really not a great start, I'll be honest. Probably the worst mission to reset on apart from Armory from Halo 2. But it sets a nice pace to start off in a reset run because it's kind of slow. You can kind of like get in the mood of the run. So right here we're going to grab the Magnum, our main weapon for the mission. Pretty much the only thing we use apart from one plasma pistol overcharge. Now you see me jumping and meleeing here. The way sprint in Halo 4 works is whenever you stop sprinting, your sprint immediately starts recharging. And by jumping we keep the momentum, but by meleeing we cancel our sprint in the air, which, if done right, gives us basically infinite sprint, which is a really nice thing to have, not gonna lie. Now, after this climbing section, we're actually gonna start shooting stuff, don't worry. Shots will be fired, I promise. This climbing section is a thing that, after running the game for about a week or two, probably, if you keep running it, you can do this part blind. It is literally the easiest thing in the world. And, oh no, an elite, help. Help, no. Oh wait, he has a sword, but he doesn't stab me. We just punch him in the face and he falls. Because that's how combat works, boys. Everybody take notes. Alright, first mission. Now, you see the elite up there? Yeah, he's a big meanie. Nobody really likes him, so we just smack him in the booty. Can I get a triple here? I did get the triple. Nice, and we didn't get a 360 grunt. There can be a red grunt there. And the problem with getting a red grunt there is when you shoot the other grunts, he can walk under the thing here. He can walk under the platform. And that can be really annoying and cost a lot of time. And it's something I would usually reset over. Thankfully we didn't get him, and we got actually a really good clear. Now I'm grenading these things out of the way, or pushing the one thing, grenading the other thing. It's just more or less a safety matter. They have gotten in my way before, so I'd rather not have that happen. So I'm lining myself up here. This is one of the few times where grenades are actually useful in Halo 4. We throw 4 grenades to kill everything coming out of that dropship. And we go over, we overcharge the elite. He's playing games with me, but that's fine. I throw another grenade. That clear was okay. The elite trolled me a little bit, and when the elite trolls me, the grunts have a weird positioning as well, so that can mess you up. But luckily, the clear wasn't too bad. I still got a decent time out of it. Yeah, low 33 elevator is fine. Now, another mechanic that you're going to see very shortly here is, while sprinting is very, very cool, and we move a little bit faster than in the other Halos where you can sprint, when you get shot, you get slowed down. Almost to the level you are at when you walk normally. So we try to avoid that. Okay, that guy did not punch me even though he was in that position. So here you're going to see that. I get slowed down every time I get shot, which is really annoying and can make for certain tricks in the game to not work. Okay, that elite can go left or right, or he can just stay in the middle. I got the worst case scenario. He stayed in the middle, which can be really annoying. Right here, for the door to open, we have to kill 3 enemies out of these 5. Kill 3 grunts on easy. We kill 2 grunts in elite on legendary.
We're just about there.
We kill a bunch of other stuff on legendary because, as you could imagine, probably these hallways are not fun on legendary to YOLO through. Practically impossible too. But this is okay. This is a fine Dawn for no reset run.
The auxiliary launch station should be to your left, out of the
So yeah, Dawn is pretty much a no-brainer for no reset runs. There's really not a lot to worry about after you get out of the first room and the room where you have to kill 3 enemies, which we call yellow room, because the lights are conveniently very yellow in that room. The outside area, there's one main annoyance out here, and that is, yep, he hit me, the sniper. This sniper has the tendency to either hit you or not hit you. So when he hits, he usually hits both shots. When he doesn't hit, he usually doesn't hit you with the second shot. Zinabine, I'm playing on MCC, but I play easy. We don't use the concussion rifle on easy. The concussion rifle is a legendary strat. Excuse me. Alright, unskippable cutscene. There's only 3 of those in the whole run. So don't worry about those too much. They're not overly long either. It's this one, there's one on the second mission, and then one on the last mission. So they're really not that big of a deal. So we are at a Dawn, and at this point, if you reach this point, you are safe. Like, the worst that can happen is gonna be your fault. So legendary runners are usually very relieved when they reach this point, because after this point, literally everything that can go wrong, pretty much, is gonna be your fault. Apart from like very minor time losses for like a second or two, where the game can like screw you physics wise, but you don't get killed by enemies anymore, which is really nice. There's one on Reclaimer, yeah, but that's more of like an instance like that is like pushing a button, and at the end on Reclaimer there is a small one, but since it's at the end of a level, I guess I usually forget about it. That's my mistake. But yeah, we are pretty much out of this mission. So first mission on Dawn. Believe it or not, I was very intimidated when I first watched Halo 4 speedruns, and I saw somebody rush through this mission in goddamn 8 minutes. No lie. Even though like I knew speedruns, but Halo was a different thing. So we are sub 8 here, which is a time I reset over. Sub 8 is pretty much the first step in Dawn PBs. I'm sorry, I'm very sorry. I'm a little... I woke up not too long ago, and I'm still kind of dry, but I'll be fine. So yeah, we should be sub 8 here, which is actually really nice. Yep, we are at a 7:59. That is sub 8. That is a pretty decent time. So now we have Requiem, my personal favorite of the game. Not gonna lie. We're gonna try to do a little slide jump here, and I didn't get it because I jumped slightly too early. That is the thing. Slide jumps work in a way that your physics are going downward, but you hit a slope, and then you crouch, and as you hit the slope, you uncrouch and jump, which slightly puts your feet's geometry into the ground, which the game doesn't like, so it pushes you out, which can give you a little bit of a boost, which is really nice to have. And then there's also simple physics of you going down, hitting a slope, and walking forward and jumping, which also helps give you a slight boost just by like normal physics. So this movement here is... it was terrible. The time I got in the Warthog was alright. I kind of messed up movement a tad bit there, and in the end right before the Warthog, but it's fine. This driving section is actually way more of a pain on the 360 version of the game. I'm running on MCC on the Xbox One version. Because the physics on 360 act differently, because pretty much everything in this game, including, or pretty much everything in Halo games actually, including collision checks, are frame-based. which leads to certain differences between versions. Now, the beginning of this mission is like is like a little downtime, and after that, we're gonna have an uppage in pace. Don't worry about that. I just like the driving section because it's really cool, like how much you can optimize it.
Do you think there's something to it?
I'm curious more than anything. Its behavior is
But yeah, we have a lot of things coming up
hostiles.
in this mission. We also have the first RNG, or more or less the only real RNG based trick coming up. That's like fully RNG based, or it's not like straight up coming up. Why did I go the legendary way? I am way too tired right now. I went the legendary way. Normally you're supposed to drive up to the ledge. For some reason I went over to the right and went behind the rock. There you would shoot the sniper, overcharge one elite, then go and overcharge the other elite on legendary. No idea why I did that. No lie.
Could always ask nicely.
But that's fine. It's not that big of a deal. It's not that big of a time loss. Shit happens. Movement here can be iffy. Can be fluent, can be iffy. It depends. Here I throw a grenade. Try to kill as many enemies with it as possible. I did not get a... Oh, I got both jackals. That's actually really good. And I only tapped my bumper. That's actually an MCC issue. Master Chief Collection can fuck up your inputs in that way. That it thinks you're holding the input for longer than you do. So when I only tap my bumper, it can assassinate an enemy when I try to backsmack him by accident, which can be really annoying, not gonna lie. But that camo clear went fine.
I heard something that time.
Now I have the sword out. There's gonna be something coming up in a second here, or in a minute rather. That is actually really interesting about the sword and the hammer, which we're gonna see in the very last mission of the game. Which is that when I mentioned on Dawn that you get slowed down when you get shot. Coming up in a second. That does not apply in a minute rather. You run with a sword or a hammer for whatever reason.
In service of Forerunner,
No idea why,
designate Requiem.
but it does.
Requiem. At least we know where we are now.
Let's see if it can
Yeah, the assassination just costs a little bit of time. There's nothing else that like goes towards them. It can just be annoying that they can cost time.
It locked up.
They do look cool, I guess.
I'm detecting power fluctuations.
So right here,
I'll put
these
them up.
jumps right here
Hopefully we can find some way to get this cartographer back online.
save about 3 seconds per button.
What's it doing?
It's all right. This energy
So
is
for a newer runner, it would be recommended to not do them.
shields are just
So I got a
cycling in response to the
decent
chamber's
slide jump there.
charge.
Runs were in my way, but they didn't block me, so that's fine. I also didn't get auto-aimed, which is nice.
This type
So
of
yes, believe it or not,
system
certain
usually
console
works
players
in
actually
parallel.
hate auto-aim, and
We'll
I
have to
wish it
locate
wasn't
its
there,
twin.
because it's really annoying at times. So as you've seen there, I got shot by pretty much everything there, but I didn't get slowed down. That's really handy to have. Now right here, there's a lot of enemies around, but the trigger for ending this section of the level is a total of 10 enemies. Those 4 grunts and the jackal sniper I just shot, and these, please hit, thank you. These jackals and this elite. And a jackal actually went to the middle here, which is annoying. Very annoying, to be honest. And he is also hiding behind the barrier, now he's juking me. So, yep, that's pretty mean. But we don't have to kill anything else but those guys. Well, Sabu, some people have played on controller their entire life. So here we have the RNG based trick I mentioned earlier. I grab a plasma pistol there. Some people grab it in a map room before this. I don't usually. I misaimed the plasma pistol. So what we try to do there is we try to shoot down that Banshee with the plasma pistol and then hijack it instead of grabbing that one there that we usually would to save about 15 seconds ish. Yeah, it's around 15 seconds that you save. And then we grab this Banshee instead if we don't get it. So it's not like something you would reset over unless you have like ridiculous run, which like 2 people have, and one of them still doesn't. Right here we sword the guy because we don't need the sword anymore. We swap that for the plasma, for the concussion rifle. And that's actually a really interesting weapon, and I wish it was in the campaign more. Unfortunately, it isn't. But you're going to see in a second what we can do with it. Right here, I throw a grenade and I shoot a little bit to alert the ghost to come down here, because I need that ghost. I overcharge it, EMP it, grab it, full boost, that's nice. The boost can actually vary. You can have any amount of boost when you take it. We go over here, and we skip some enemy triggers with this. We also skip a lot of movement way. Especially the most necessary, or the best reason to do this is there's hunters up here that would spawn, which can be a massive pain, especially on legendary. So yeah, we skip all that and move on. And that's pretty much it for this mission. So yeah, he's actually right. He's actually right. The concussion rifle is basically the equivalent to the brute shot, except it is less powerful and has more. Like it propels us more. Compared to the physics, obviously. Halo 4 physics allow for, in general, less height than Halo 3 physics. Or Halo 2 physics, for that matter. So, in comparison to the physics, it propels us further. No, we don't melee to keep the boost. The boost is actually random. You can melee and not get the boost. It's anything there is possible, pretty much. And here we concussion jump a little bit to try to hit the level end trigger earlier, but it's kind of random. It can be higher up or lower sometimes. It's really weird. Not exactly sure how that works, but nobody is. Yeah, that was an alright Requiem. Now we are on to Forerunner, and my first massive fear for the run, not gonna lie. Right here, right off the start, we grab another sentry, and don't worry about me sprinting. The button is actually on a timer, so I can take all my time in the world. You know, I can turn around here, I can walk up backwards, I can melee the air, I can teabag a little bit, and I'm still reaching the button when it activates. Skip the cutscene here. These portals are actually interesting. They don't give you your sprint charge back, but they cancel your sprint. So that can be very annoying to deal with at times. Right here, we actually take a risk, but it usually works out. What we do is we shoot this first crawler. Waited for him to get his head down so I can have a better aim at it. Then we deploy the auto sentry to deal with the rest of the crawlers there. And then we just go. Now, this trick pretty much depends on you not getting shot. And we made it. Nice. Okay, that's my first fear gone. So, that trick can be iffy. I'm not the most consistent at it, not gonna lie. Oh, come on. Please go up. Thank you. It saves about 45 seconds on movement alone. And it saves even more, because if we don't do that, we first have to kill all those crawlers, then activate the light bridge. We get a cutscene with our first night encounter, which nights we're going to see them in a bit. And then we have to clear out a night and about 10 crawlers, which takes its time, so that's really annoying. I'm not getting the load here. Okay. The area loaded in very late there, which is kind of annoying. But yeah, now we're back in bounds. So that's a quick out of bounds trick. That is really nice. It saves a lot of time. Especially if you're bad at combat. And looks cool. Knights are actually not that bad. The worst enemy in this game in my eyes is Watchers followed by Jackals. Because they're both very evasive and very annoying and very hard to kill at times.
What's that distortion?
So right here I'm going to try to get another slide jump because those crawlers can be a bitch. I got a little bit of one. So those crawlers, okay, they didn't do it. I'm going to explain it when it happens. There's something called crawler glitches in this game, which is really annoying. So we throw grenades here to take out those power cores,
That's the target, but it looks like the entrance is shielded.
because that's literally the only objective of this tower, is take out those power cores and then move on. The game's like, yo, destroy them, and then you can go. I don't care what if you kill stuff. So I managed to get that one first try. You actually saw me get a checkpoint. That is a checkpoint you always want to get, especially in a no reset run. Because I have once missed that grenade, the second one, and not had the checkpoint. It is a pain because you have to jump down, destroy the thing, and then walk back up. Meanwhile, even though you're on easy, there's so many enemies down there at that point that you're pretty dead,
Intercepted our distress beacon.
usually.
The beacon was pulled into Requiem with
So this Forerunner is going decently well.
they try to follow it.
They'll get
Again, there's another trick
I'll keep trying to warn them.
in fairly short time that kind of relies on us not getting shot while sprinting. But it's usually not an issue because I am somewhat notorious for never missing it. Even though I probably will now because I just jinxed myself. But I have this thing that, it's called battle jump, and I have this thing that I never miss battle jump because I have not missed that trick in about 4 months. Except for one time, but I was playing on Legendary, and RNG actually works differently there on Legendary, believe it or not. As in most areas, but there it's really weird, because on Easy, most of the time, all the enemies focus on each other. On Legendary, they, for some reason, all focus on you, and they basically team up on you, and you're just boned.
I was wondering why Infinity hadn't encountered the Covenant yet.
But yeah, second portal.
They're heading to the pylon as
Also,
well.
in case you are wondering why I'm not explaining anything about the storyline, it is not worth it. Just play the game. You need to watch like all the cutscenes and stuff to like understand it. So this is battle jump. Right here, we jump up here, we jump up here, and we jump over there. And if we get shot on that platform, we cannot make that jump. So yeah, it continues on. I don't miss battle jump. That's nice, I guess. So I actually didn't get it there. It's weird. You can like board that ghost early and save like a second. But for some reason, I don't exactly know why. The game just doesn't give you the prompt sometimes to board the ghost, which is really weird.
The relay
But we don't worry about it because it's 1 second.
we're almost
So
to
who
the
cares? Now, upcoming, we have another out of bounds trick called Banshee Skip. One of the scariest skips on Legendary. Really simple and easy. We make sure this elite doesn't get in the Banshee because he could be an annoyance if he does. Because we have to reload checkpoint then, unless we can hijack the Banshee immediately. We go all the way up, over the first barrier. That one is actually kind of random in how high it is or how far it goes up. And we go down and we fly underneath the second barrier, and now we're out of bounds. So this area is like the first pylon area where we have to destroy 3 power cores, but it's a lot more annoying, and we don't have grenades in it or anything. And this is just faster. We get over here, and we load in the building. We fly all the way over here because there's a trigger at the exit of the elevator that you need to hit for the second plug to activate.
Come in, Infinity.
And now we're moving on to the last section of Forerunner, which is actually really simple. Or rather, the last on-foot section.
Go.
There is a section after the on-foot section, which I'm going to explain in a second why and how and what the reason is that everybody fucking hates that section. Not gonna lie, everybody hates it. It's a really stupid section.
Relay.
But yeah, so now we have the only enemies that you're actually required to kill in order to complete the mission.
A minute or two max.
See, can I chain them?
The
1,
Covenant are
2,
making a push
3,
to come from
4.
the far side of the satellite.
Up, missed one.
Second
5.
power
Still,
core
shots are being
online.
fired.
Good job, Chief.
So yeah, that's the only 5 enemies you legitimately need to kill to finish the mission. You could probably find some sort of out of bounds skip for that door, but truth is it's just faster. So that is actually weird. That Phantom is supposed to be on the other side, and he's supposed to be destroyed there, but sometimes the parts scatter over here for no apparent reason. Which is really weird. But stuff happens. Right here, there's one last jump coming up. Used to be more of a legendary strat, but it saves a second or two on easy as well. On legendary, you just don't want to go around the left side because there's so many knights there that they're just gonna mess you up bad. So we are actually in pretty decent 400 pace right now. This is going pretty well, which is nice. I enjoy having good pace, obviously, as most people do, I would assume.
He manipulated Infinity's signal to get us to
So the really interesting levels of the game are going to come up.
What's happening?
moving the satellite.
And just a bit, we have one really combat focused mission coming up, and after that we go crazy. But yeah, here's this section. It's the ghost section. It is the most annoying part of the entire game in my eyes because it's just so stupidly random. This section is physics RNG en masse. It is literally insane. It can go perfectly fine right now, and you won't see anything. But you can flip everywhere here. Literally every time you hit the ground here, you can flip. This right there, this landing, I could have landed exactly the same way in another run, and it would have flipped me. On 360, this is even worse. Oh, look. Hey, we did a barrel roll. That's swag. We did not lose time from that. But yeah, on 360 again, this is worse because there is less collision checks, which cause you to flip more because the game doesn't realize you are like touching, you're like on the ground, so the ghost tends to just flip a little further, and then it just gets out of hand. So yeah, who needs 360s when you can do barrel rolls, right? But yeah, this ghost section so far, whoops, is actually going pretty decently. I think I actually may deserve my driver's license after this.
Not like I can get out and push.
Oh, yep, see, and that's something that can just randomly happen at any point. That is like not in our mind. All we can do is like try to go a little slower, but the issue is, for one, that's slow. Going slow is slow. We don't want to go slow, do we? No, I don't think we don't want to go slow. And for the other part, it is very annoying because when you slow down, the game can kill you randomly. So right here is the only part where I actually slow down to turn around my ghost in the air. Like turn it a little back so I don't like ram my nose into the ground. And the ending was actually pretty scary because I could have not made it there. Believe it or not, there is actually a chance to not make it when you get screwed like that, and there's nothing you can do about that. Okay, on to Infinity. Probably the hardest mission to learn as a new runner. Really fun mission in my eyes. It can be really scary because there is actually a big chance to die at one point in the mission. And yes, I am playing on easy, and yes, I just said chance to die. It is insanely scary.
One of them's an officer. Check his IFF tag.
Now this first section is running through. We run on top of this tree stump to avoid crawlers shooting us, which usually works, which is nice. We grab the shotgun here. The shotgun is, by the way, the best weapon in the game apart from the hammer. Just saying. Shotgun strats are OP as shit. AO4 is probably one of the better shotguns in the series, not gonna lie. It is a really good shotgun.
We've got another IFF on the far side of this.
And we need it for killing big booty holes, which are going to come up in not too long. So right here again, we go around the left side. Even though like running straight would theoretically be faster, there's so many enemies there and we would get slowed down so much that instead we just run around this side and get on top of the tree stump. Or the branch rather.
I've got another IFF tag, but as far as I can tell, we're moving.
And all those friend or foe tags that the game tells us to pick up, we don't need to pick those up. We only need to pick up the last one.
But where's whoever it belongs to?
Oh, no, that's the wrong thing. I want a DMR. Now, this wall bleeds, by the way. Now, I don't like the DMR. I would give anything for having a battle rifle in this section, but unfortunately we can't do that. Because reasons.
A topographic area.
So right here, again, we
Foliage north of here.
run through everything because who needs to kill stuff, right? This is shots avoided marathon. I do not know what you're talking about. Right here, we jump. We do a crouch jump here, and another crouch jump here. To skip some spawns right here. There should be a bunch of crawlers spawning behind that corner, and the knight right in front of there. Which does not happen, because we skip triggers, because it's speed runs and stuff. Now right here, this section can actually be really dangerous if I get crawler glitched here. Oh, there it happened. Okay, that was just a single glitch, so it's fine. It's no big deal if it's just a single. Where is the last crawler here? There's supposed to be one more crawler up there. Ah, I didn't get him with one shot. Damn it. Come on, die, please. Okay, there we go. So, what happens when you get crawler glitched is when a crawler melees you, his geometry can get stuck inside you. And the way Halo 4 applies melee damage is when an enemy in his melee animation touches the outer side of your character model with the body part he melees with. Oh, wait, we still have a knight down there. That's actually bad right now. Oh, where did he go? Where did he go? No, shit, he's up there. He's up there. I'm just gonna trust my Marines here. I only have 2 Marines right now, which is really bad. That's actually really bad. I thought they had gotten them, which they didn't. This is bad, but I'm gonna trust my 2 Marines. They're getting on good turrets. So, or they're not getting on turrets at all. Please get on turrets. I'm just gonna trust them here because fuck it. So I'm gonna assassinate this knight. Oh, okay. Now it didn't let me assassinate him. That's nice. So that went really weirdly. I'm really scared about this right now. Oh, come on. Please die. Okay, my Marines are actually doing decent work. Decent enough, anyway.
Cortana, close all we.
Okay, come here. And then I'm gonna... Where did you go? Knight. Okay, never mind. The game's still letting us hit the button, so it's fine. We don't need to kill that knight. That's really weird. It's not supposed to go down like that. The Marines are supposed to take care of everything. That is why it's this section is really annoying. Because you can easily lose a lot of time if your Marines just don't do shit. But we got through it fine.
Knight! What's he doing?
Covenant?
They're working with the Covenant?
So in this area we have to kill 10 enemies, including the first knight, to trigger some dialogue.
I'm shocked how quickly the
Which we did.
unified these
Nice.
Covenant.
And then we murder the knights real quick. Nope. Bad watcher. Screw you. Alright. We have pulse grenades. So we should be fine here. Pulse grenades are very useless grenades that are useless at exactly one section in the game. To me, anyway, which is here. We killed these jackals with them. And I thought I missed that. I actually didn't. That's really nice. So now we have 3 grunts to kill. It's not that big of a deal that I don't shoot them like right as they come out of the dropship, because it doesn't matter that much. The knights will trigger anyway. I grabbed the kneeler there as a backup because we can get bad spawns here, which we did. So these knights can be big meanies. One can spawn right here, that's why I went over here, so I could just backsmack him straight away. But, you know, game does not like me. So yeah, and then his kneeler kills knights in 1 overcharge. So I grabbed that as a backup because that's faster than reloading the railgun. And now we just get in the Falcon. It doesn't matter how much I waste my ammo here, by the way. Because, you know, who needs ammo? We just get new and worse guns anyway. So here, I'm gonna hopefully get a plasma pistol spawn. Yes, I did. Okay, he's really far out, but I got a plasma pistol spawn, which we need again. Plasma pistol is great, you know. EMPing vehicles is really useful. So we EMP this ghost, grab it, say screw you, this is my ghost now. He punches the ghost once, we don't care, we just drive off. Because this is how we roll. Drive through everything again. Really, really nice that you can do that. Now next section, we would have to do a very inconvenient strat if we couldn't do what we do. We need a Wraith here because, you know, on-foot combat is bad. We want the big guns, right? If we want to fire shots, we want to fire big shots. So we're gonna grab some big shots. So right here, I'm gonna overcharge the Wraith and actually got what I wanted to. You can overcharge the gunner along with the Wraith, so he loses his shields and you only need 1 melee to take him out. Which saves about 2 seconds. But hey, it saves 2 seconds, so respect. Get him in the elevator. And this room used to be called Hell Room before we knew about the Wraith strat, because there's grunts with fuel rods in here, as you can see. Back before we knew about Wraith strats, we had to like run in here, shoot the fuel rod grunts, get their fuel rods before they despawn, because they could do that. Marine, stop shooting, please. And then take out the hunters while being shot by everything, which can be very deadly on easy. Now, I just did a dialogue skip by delaying the checkpoint into the dialogue by melee, although it got delayed too far because the Marine decided to keep on shooting because he's a dick. And yeah, for some reason reloading checkpoint there skips some dialogue here, which saves about 20 seconds, I believe. Saves a good amount. Right here we kill the Mantis because we need to destroy the door, and that activates whenever either we get in the Mantis or the Mantis gets destroyed for some reason. Because the way Halo 4 notices you being in the Mantis is it's no longer noticing. It just looks if there's an empty vehicle there or not. Oh, I thought I had to go. I would get thrown off. I'm just gonna reload my rocket launcher here because, you know, who gives a shit? But yeah, it just checks for an empty vehicle, which is not there when we get in, but it is also no longer an empty vehicle when we destroy the Mantis, which is faster than getting in the Mantis and destroying the door with it. And now we can just drive through everything on the Mongoose. Do a cool power slide in here. These grunts, I usually say hi to them. Hi guys. Oh, where did you go? No, I don't have any friends. That's how life goes, usually. Now I drive out. We have to destroy 3 jammers here.
We've identified several Covenant jamming devices on the outer hull.
That might be how they're blocking the Infinity's defenses.
Exactly what we were thinking.
So we shoot them down with rockets because who needs rockets to kill enemies?
We're more than just a big paperweight.
Killing enemies is
Cortana
useless.
out. First jammer disabled.
I got the first one. I should hit the second one. Yep, I hit the second one. That's good.
That's 2.
And we shoot down the third one with the machine gun of the Mantis. Now we need the Mantis. So we shoot down these dropships coming in, or Phantoms rather. We shoot them down. And we actually despawn the third wave that is supposed to come in by doing that correctly. So we just need to shoot down the first one before it drops enemies. And we need to shoot down the second one as it gets in position. So both of them like need to be in position. But we can't shoot them down after enemies have been dropped, or we will not get the despawn. So right there, so that pretty much ensured the despawn right there.
Didact's not letting go without a fight. Here's a hawk. A few more minutes.
So now we wait. And as a matter of fact, if anybody remembers when Savu explained drop skip in Halo CE, this skip basically works the same way. When we destroy one dropship, for some reason the game checks for enemies being there from both sides, and then the other dropship will leave because the other dropship will not have dropped enemies yet. So it will be like, oh hey, there's no more enemies around. Okay, I will leave. And by having too many dropships in the air, we skip the spawn of one dropship. And that's a decent Infinity. Actually, I'm really happy there's no enemies straight around me, because these guns right here, when there's a grunt, there can be a grunt right here, right? These guns will shoot the goddamn grunt. That can be painful, as you can probably imagine. Now we can just mess around until the end of the level. Screw you, guns, for all the runs you've killed. And that's Infinity for you. Nice and clean. It was a pretty decent Infinity. This run is actually going really well. I'm only 1.5 seconds off my personal best right now. So yeah, this run is making me really happy right now. Not gonna lie. Now, Reclaimer. Reclaimer is a special level. It is the special kind of special level. So first, we would have to get on the Mammoth, and then we have a long dialogue, and we wait for frickin' Lasky to talk to us and whatnot. Yeah, screw that. We're just gonna run up here, hit this trigger, boom. Mantis move. Mammoth moves. We good. We gold. Trying to kill this guy there. Okay, he died. That's good. That guy can hinder the Mammoth, because the Mammoth can just notice, oh, there's a guy underneath me. What do I do? Where do I go? And we have a decently fast Mammoth, I would say. It's an alright Mammoth. This Mammoth can move faster or slower, depending on nothing. It's literally random. So right here, I don't like Spartan Force. They're idiots. So I snipe this guy and then I no-scope this guy, because every good shooter needs a no-scope every now and then. Also, hang on, I have a jetpack, I have rockets, okay. Yes, Sabu, this is Hobo's level. If I would beat Hobo's ILPB by 2 seconds, I would get world record, I think. So yeah, not gonna happen. I'm terrible at reclaiming. But yeah, we are waiting for a load zone here and for signal to jump off. Everybody kind of like has their own signal. Getting a little slide jump there, along with the boost we get from the mammoth, and sprinting off the mammoth. Which, because the mammoth still counts as like a solid ground beneath us, we move at way higher speed when we sprint off the mammoth, which is really nice and gives us a nice boost. So right here again, we just ditch the mammoth because he wants us to destroy some things over there, which we don't do because, yeah, destroying things over there is slow. We just run over here, move on to the next part of the story. Like, who needs a storyline? Who needs linear video games when you can just skip everything? So me getting shot here actually doesn't matter too much because this thing is on a timer. If you get there too early, you can charge it and you have to charge it again and again until the timer actually runs out and you can activate it. So yeah, now I'm gonna wait here actually for a few seconds just to take it safe, because there is something you can soft lock here if you go too early. 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, we should be good now. You can soft lock here if you go too late, because you can accidentally deload the area the mammoth is in, and then the mammoth will fall down into oblivion. So he will basically fall forever, which pretty much soft locks you, because you literally need the mammoth to shoot down the next AA cannon. Hobo, the run has been going really well actually. I am a second and a half off PB right now after Infinity. So the run is going really well so far. We need to run into these. If you run into the corner, you can destroy it just by running into it. But it's a little finicky at times. This is actually one of my most feared sections personally because of that Wraith right there. So what I usually do is I go around the corner here, ram it that way, because then the Wraith will not run into the back of me, so he will not bop my booty. If he does bop my booty, I basically go one shot and then the turret will just take me out fairly easily. We don't want that. That's why I take it safe. You can be fast enough, but if I can take it safe, I will. Now right here, we go up here. We shoot this we tag this AA cannon. I'm gonna wait for a checkpoint here. Then we get on the lich. Now, getting on the lich is actually a massive skip, believe it or not. Because if we don't get on the lich, we actually have about a minute and a half of a wave fight going on before we can get into the lich and then destroy it. So by just getting on it and then shooting the core with a rocket, we skip all that and we save about a minute and a half just by doing that. So that went well. That went very well actually. Now we skip even more time because we need the mammoth to follow up usually in the full path version of Reclaimer to get over the rivers that are to my right that you did not see, because I do not have time to look at rivers because rivers are not dank memes. Instead we just jetpack over this river or canyon or river canyon river. It's a thing, okay? So I actually messed up my jetpack cycle just slightly there, so I'm gonna take the lower ledge. You can get to the upper ledge pretty easily. I just messed up my cycles a little bit. That's fine. So right here, this is the first instance where you will see that. It's jetpack boost, wall boost, whatever the hell you want to call it. What happens is if we sprint into a wall, you get this little moment where you get propelled up by the physics, and then you jetpack and you take the speed with which you get propelled up along with the jetpacking itself to get a little bit of a boost while jetpacking. So right here, this section can be rather dangerous if you get terrible RNG or you're just bad at movement like I am.
Heads up.
Because these snipers, there's about 7 snipers in this area. They can be mean. They can be very mean. I've died here before on easy. And just like for no reason, that can happen. Then we go up, and we actually have a really cool looking trick coming up. But first, we bully a grunt and take his plasma pistol. Just to be safe.
Cortana to infinity. We're entering the Forerunner structure.
Now this trick is actually a personal favorite of mine. It is one of the few tricks in the game that are literally movement only. It doesn't save anything combat-wise. It literally just saves about 25 seconds to 30 seconds of walking down the hallway. But it is really swag. Of course I'll do Blue Elevator Skip Hole while I'm not you. Please.
Almost like the Sentinels wanted us to get the particle cannons offline.
This could be a trap.
You say that like there's a second possibility?
Easy every time. And that saves about 25 to 30 seconds. And it's a really simple skip, but it can be a lot of trouble when you're learning it. And I suggest if you want to learn this game, by the way, if you do, there's on my channel and in my highlights, there is a general guideline for easy, and on Howleycake's YouTube channel, there is tutorials for the individual levels. It is not recommended to do that when you first learn the game,
Cortana?
because there's other tricks you should be focusing on.
Cortana. Cortana.
So right here, don't worry, I did not plan to jump into the abyss, although sometimes I feel like that, but not today. We can actually go early there with an audio cue and save about a second or so. Right here I'm going to try to get another slide jump. I got a slide jump. Nice, we in there. So everything so far has been going really well. Bad Monsters, Howley's tutorials are available through the HaloRuns.com forums. Believe it or not. Okay, and we grab Cortana, and we're out of here.
Elevator, back at the chamber.
Screw you, Knight. That was a little sketchy, but it was fine. It wasn't terrible.
Chief, what happened? Your bio readings are all over the map.
It's a long story, but I know what the Didact's after.
I know that part. The librarian filled me in when she snatched me from the system. But what I don't know is what she did to you.
Yeah, they're just not listed. They exist. They still exist. They're just not listed. So right here is the reason why I grabbed the plasma pistol off the grunt there. Because oh my god, hi. Okay. Sure. I'm alive. That's good. And I have the non-exploding ghost. There's 2 ghosts there. The ghost that's the first ghost that comes down is not supposed to. The second ghost that comes down is scripted to get shot by the tank. If we take that one, if the tank misses, which he tends to do quite often, and we take that ghost, it will explode as we get out, because it is scripted to get destroyed. But we got the first one, so it did not explode, which is good. And we, again, skip about 45 seconds, I would say, here, by just jetpacking over the rocks to skip this barrier, instead of going around destroying the generators, killing all the wraiths, because they can be a serious issue, all that.
Infinity, we're at the gravity well.
Then paint that damn target so we can get out of here.
You heard him, Chief. Line up the shot.
And that's the ending of this level. This is the small unskippable cutscene, but it's right at the end of the level, so
Shields weak.
it's not that big of a deal. Yeah, so upcoming, we actually have the level that is the fastest level in Halo 4. It is also the level where we save the most time. And yes, it is very boring. It is, quote-unquote, my first Twitter level. On the last 3 levels, on all 3, I have a section where I can just check Twitter or something similar and chill. And like text people and whatnot.
To finish this job, he'll have to find it first. Our best bet to stop him.
I think I'm gonna get in the
Let's hope last
The Pelican.
on that Pelican.
Come on. I hit X a
Initiating
tad
pre-flight
too late.
diagnostics. Forward autocannon, check. Lateral rail turrets, check. Main thrusters, check. Auxiliary boosters, check. Alright. Keying engine. It may be a while before
So we're gonna have objective markers coming up in a bit. Just don't pay attention to them, they're not relevant. Basically, what happens in this mission is we're supposed to go to 2 towers to like do stuff, and then we're supposed to go to the last tower.
larger facilities on your HUD.
But for some odd reason,
They're acting as
on the last tower, the door still
moving
opens,
to and from the satellite.
even though we haven't completed the other 2 towers yet. Very likely a shortcut for the devs to test things before they made the rally points, and they never took it out for some reason. So that's a lot of fun. That is a whole lot of fun. So we fly through this whole thing is would open up after we destroyed or we got through the other 2 towers. So we fly through this hole. Oh, come on, please. Okay, thank you. Yes, it is also the biggest level in Halo 4, easily. So yeah, that is we have already skipped about 85% of the level, and we're about to skip more. So yeah, this level is amazing speedrun wise. Like if you're into the tech stuff, it is really amazing. I would just easily skip 85% of the level. So I'm gonna set up a launch here. I personally hate this setup at this point, but it's the only one I really know. This should be good. So what happens there is there's these pillars that fly up. Or that go up when we hit the load zone. Ah no, this is not making it. Yep. So there's these pillars that go up right here. You can see those right here. Oh, okay, my stick twitched to the left, which is weird. Well, if we hit them at a right angle, they launch us. I don't think this is making it either. I'm gonna give it one more attempt. I'm supposed to land approximately over there on that platform. I'm gonna give it one more attempt. If I don't make it, then I'm gonna do the backup strat. Yes, Hobo, this is still the same setup. Come on. We're making it. Yep, we made it. That was... Yeah, I'm getting really weird launches with this setup. I need a new setup. Everybody kind of has a different setup for it. But we made it through. You guys sign in mind, there's an extra invisible wall for some reason on the 360 version, which makes the launch way easier on it. So right here, I am having a sudden urge to commit suicide, so I'm just gonna stick the Banshee. Oh wait, it didn't kill me. Nice. Let's go. So yeah, That's actually used for this part, so we can get the Banshee through the door here and potentially skip a few, save a few seconds. Unfortunately, though, I'm terrible at flying a Banshee, so that didn't happen. This is alright for third try, I think. Shutdown launch, third or fourth. I didn't pay that much attention, not gonna lie. It still went decently well. You can actually, if you get the angle right, you can shoot yourself with the saw here.
They're leaving.
I'm sorry. I don't know why.
Now we take Cortana back out. Oh yeah, I forgot to show that. I'm gonna show that on Composer.
Wait.
I didn't show that. Didn't show you guys the booty. I will show you guys the booty in just a bit. Next level, we're gonna have more booty. Don't worry.
The Didact ship. We're only going to have one shot at this.
And that shutdown. That's a level that, without that first skip, would be about probably about 20 minutes on easy. Not even able to think about how long it would actually be on legendary. It would be insane on legendary. So we have Composer. Probably one of the two best looking levels for people who don't run the game themselves. Anyway, even for
Sorry, I just can't stop
even for some runners, I personally hate Composer.
arguing
I cannot stand this level, even though it looks really cool. I cannot stand watching or playing it.
You have to issue
I'm gonna kill this Marine. I actually don't kill it. It's a scripted death.
The Covenant! They've already taken over the landing bays.
So I waited there in the first room for a second to get a checkpoint here. This door is on a timer. If I wait there, I get a checkpoint here. This is just for safety purposes. I should not be needing the checkpoint, but just in case, because you never know. We pretty much didn't need that. Who found that shutdown skip? I'm actually not sure who found it. It was like the skip to the last tower was just like the whole everybody found that basically very early, and then the launch was, I don't remember, it could have been Sliding Ghost who found that. So I killed elites here. Hello, please stop being a cunt. Thank you. So I need the concussion rifle here. We got that back. Is this a better sword? This is a better sword. Still a 6 swipe. Okay. Oh my god. And the elite follows me up here, which is really annoying. So I'm gonna line myself up here. That can happen. The physics can glitch out on that sometimes. It's pretty weird. Now we jump back with the concussion rifle and we crouch and we jump up here. By the way, I should mention that jumping down there saves about a minute on a wave fight, and the railing jump I just did with the concussion rifle saves about 25 to 30 seconds. So we grab the thruster pack here, which is really useful. Also, hunters in Halo 4 ain't shit. They just die to swords because, you know, that's how good Halo 4 is. We can just sword a hunter in the back and he dies. And now we have a sticky dead again. We're gonna need that first skip in just a bit.
door controls.
And that's where Halo 4 starts looking really good. We've had good out of bounds on Reclaimer. Now we're taking it up a notch. Let's put it that way. I did not get cutscene locked here, by the way, which can happen. In which case I would have had to skip one skip and done another skip in a harder way. So I'm really glad about that. For some reason, when you skip that cutscene there, you can sometimes get soft locked for no reason.
What was that?
But it's not that big of a deal. So here we go out of bounds. We shoot the button, which I'm going to explain in a second. Now we wait for a load zone.
I can program the station's defenses. evacuation.
Okay, I'll send you the coordinates.
And there's my load zone. And we go up, and we detonate the sticky det to kill the Marine that is in front of the button. I'll open the door faster. And now we jump over here. This actually only saves about 5 seconds max on easy. Saves a lot on legendary, obviously. And it's just really cool to do. It's really fun to do. It's a really fun trick. So we have a similar trick coming up. Backsmack that guy. Wreck that guy just for not getting blocked purposes, basically. And we're out of bounds again. I'm actually gonna... And if we jump right... Yep, I got it. If you jump right there, you can... You can have... You can get teleported back in, sorry. My bad. My English sometimes craps out on me. And now I am fighting with elites. Because they're assholes. Now we don't need the concussion rifle anymore. Sorry guys. No more good tricks. Okay. Now we can look at it. I mean, look at that. That is just... That is reason enough to run Halo 4.
The nuke?
We're rigging it now. Meet us back on the upper platform and we'll help you get it to
So
the
yeah, now we take Cortana with us again. Because screw messing around here. We don't have time to waste, am I right?
Chief, if we pull this off, then actually...
Well, we can jump here. Oh, didn't make it. That can happen. I sticky dead the elite to get some things out of my way. Oh, I was too late. Doesn't matter. The Mantis section on this level is kinda... It's hard to, like, do really consistently. It is very hard to do consistently. Basically, the best explanation I can give you for this Mantis section is I have to kill things fast and get checkpoints by getting out of combat fast. It's hard, believe me. This is one of the hardest sections to figure out when you're learning the game. Easily. Can I have a checkpoint, please? Yep, that was pretty slow. Okay, and we also had one fuel rod elite run off, which is very annoying. I'm actually gonna shoot my 3 rockets here so I can reload my rockets. If you die, what do you mean exactly? You can't restart the entire Mantis section. You need to get checkpoints between waves to trigger the next wave. Like right here, I need to get this checkpoint by getting out of combat to trigger the Banshee wave.
Banshees!
So the triggers in the level are actually tied to checkpoints. It's not safety strats. It is literally, we need to have checkpoints. Otherwise the game won't progress. Because the game usually thinks you are gonna kill literally everything that is there. And when you have killed literally everything, you will obviously get a checkpoint because there's no longer anything there, so you are out of combat. So right here, we actually only have to kill 3 Banshees, believe it or not, instead of all of them. And then we go into the cave, because, you know, it's saving caves. And that's this level pretty much done. Now it's a little over 3 minutes to the end. So this is another Twitter time, but I don't usually check Twitter here. Also, those grunts for some reason are idiots, and they land on top of each other, and then they all let their suicide grenades loose. Nobody knows why, but they do it because they can. Don't be so mean, grunts have feelings too. Yes, there's a Spartan laser on Composer. Oh my god, hi. Yeah, so yeah, that can happen. Oh. Suicide grunts, everybody. Scary, even uneasy.
Back to the elevator platform.
Did not notice them, but that Banshee was fun. There's actually a trick you can do here. If you can get a plasma pistol, you can EMP a Banshee and go out of bounds and then get in here about 3 seconds early. Decided to not do it because you can also soft lock on it, which is not something we want. So now it's 1 minute and 40 seconds till the end of the level. So this is another Twitter time, basically.
Immense Casimir wave building outside the atrium.
I just empty my ammo because screw it, I don't need anything, right? We like screw electronics. Screw this stupid tornado. Screw having laser ammo. Screw having anything.
Cortana, see if you can raise Tilson. Get me a status on the rest of the station.
I can't believe you did that.
Cortana, I need that info. Look, don't think about the Didact. Don't think about the Composer. Only focus on finding me Tilson.
Tilson. Sandra Kay. Female, 51 years of age. Doctor of Archaeology. Pegasi Institute.
Yes, there's absolutely tornadoes on Halo 4. Did you not see? That's a big tornado. Okay, I'm not crazy, I swear. And that's the end of Composer. I spammed A and Y there to skip the final cutscene of the mission. And we come on to the final mission. Actually, also one of my favorites. If you can get past the fact that it is not the greatest Halo game in the world, if you can like get past that and just look at it as a video game of its own, Halo 4 actually becomes a really great game. And it's really enjoyable in my eyes. So right here, we would have to fight through a lot of shit. Fuck that, nobody needs that. We just get out of bounds. Then we fly all past all that. This out of bounds section actually, believe it or not, saves about between 5 and 15 seconds. Rather 5 and 20 seconds, depending on which way you go back in. On the full path route, but that is compared to like a perfectly flown full boost all the time full path route. So it's pretty, it's just nice to have, because full boost full path section is very hard if you go for it. Like, it is insanely hard to do a perfect full path section. It is so easy to die there. So having the out of bounds section is just great. So I will actually be doing the slower way to get back in bounds out of for consistency purposes. Because believe it or not, I'm not that amazing at the fast version. I've only recently picked up doing it, and it's still kind of meh. It can be kind of random at first. So I'm just going to do the slow version, which is still pretty impressive. Dixon, that is not true. Midnight is not a hard mission. It's fairly easy once you have it down. It is one of the harder ones to like learn and get good at, but it is very simple to be consistent at once you can do it properly. The hardest section is like in the ending. There's one section that is very hard. Everything else is pretty simple. It's RNG hell on a legendary. I'll give people that, but even there, it's not hard. It's just stupid. Because like pretty much nothing is your fault. But yeah, so now we're back in bounds. We hit that load. I hit that one load early to get back in bounds. That's the reason why we have to be fast here. Because normally if you go through, you hit that load about halfway through and you have all the time in the world to get under that door. But that's a little harder if you hit the load early and then you have to backtrack to fly back in bounds.
There it is.
But here we are. And this is the final part of the flying section. From now on, there is no more really boring parts in this level. Which is nice, which is very nice.
We'll take care of the gun.
Also always happy when the flying section goes well.
Two cannons neutralized. Two to go.
I'm gonna kill all 4 of those generators. They're tied to the AA cannons, which we have to take out. Sometimes you can crash into invisible walls here for 0 reason. It's pretty stupid if you ask me. Sometimes that happens. And now we're here in the final mission and the final parts of the mission. The parts that are actually fun. So these hallways are absolute hell in Midnight. They are RNG hell to no end. It is literally the most RNG of the game. And it's on the last level. That's why it's so much bullshit. On easy, it's just, please don't shoot me, I need to be fast. So I actually had very good luck with the Watchers lining up there. The Watchers try to spawn a bunch of crawlers there, which then also will try to shoot me in the back. Which we don't want, obviously. Like, who wants crawlers shooting them in the back? That's just terrible.
I think it's a transit system like on Requiem. Find a way to access it. I'll try to route us to the composer. Put me in the system.
Halo 4 and Legendary can be difficult, especially to go fast. To go fast, it is very optimized at this point. But, you know, actually interesting fact about the Majors, they don't die to one melee, but they are so weak that they will literally take nothing after a melee. I also prefer to use the saw over a precision weapon here. It's just personally, I prefer a full auto weapon to having to actually aim. Right here, I actually didn't get bopped by the Knight. The Knight can come there and like push you off.
Another portal.
So here we have the hammer, and the hammer is the nicest weapon in the goddamn campaign, and it is so good. And with a hammer, we can also do this.
I can't hide much longer.
Whee!
I'll try to move you to the composer again.
I'm gonna backsmack this guy just for consistency because there is multiple knights around that can push you off if you get unlucky. As that guy and this guy we usually hammer, but he can push us off anyway. We actually got an early portal. Whenever the portal spawns, it's RNG. It can spawn really fast. It can spawn really slow. Okay, I got all 3 crawlers. This knight tries to spawn a Watcher. We say no. And now we actually do a dialogue skip here. Oh, no, don't fall off, please. Lish, don't. So we go down here instead of staying up top where we're supposed to be. Also, I have amazing aim. And, well, let's just say we don't have to listen to the bitch talking. Because Cortana's dialogue, I'm actually kind of happy for that, because I actually tend to find Cortana's dialogue quite annoying. Also, what is going on with my aim? Controllers, everybody. So yeah, now we wait for the last wave. Oh yeah, I should mention that this strat is called ASPOD, which stands for Area Specific Point of Despawn. So it's a legitimate strat name. So yeah, and then we go up here, and it's now at this point she's supposed to have like a 1 and a minute half dialogue while we clean out the rest of the crawlers, but no. Okay, so now I just got double glitched, which happens when you get crawler glitched. I explained that earlier, but the crawler doesn't get fully pushed out of you. So, and he's still in his melee animation, so it happens again, and then again, and then again. And that can make for really annoying instances where a crawler can literally bring you to one shot just with one melee.
Barely. End of the ramp. If we time it right.
And it is terrible. It is terrifying and terrible and absolutely horrible. And nobody should ever have that happen. So now we have the last downtime before we have the final section of the game, which can be very rough, especially when you're on pace. It is a terrifying section. I still have my problems with it all the time, especially when I'm on pace. Crawlers would kind of make a good spore creature. I kind of agree on that. So right here I'm going to grab an auto sentry. I'm going to grab a light rifle because obviously I don't have a lot of ammo left in my battle rifle. So I'm going to switch that out. Because I believe me, you're going to see I need this ammo. I need this ammo so bad.
I've got to do something you're not going to like.
What did you just do?
I ejected my random personality spikes. If I do that at each
Batchat, you actually don't need the auto sentry. I only very recently started using the auto sentry. The auto sentry is by no means necessary. I'm going to reload here, and I'm going to do a nade jump. One of the few instances in Halo 4 where nade jumps are actually applicable. Grenades in Halo 4 suck. I think I didn't mention that yet. Halo 4 grenades are very terrible. They're bad. By bad, I mean like absolutely disgustingly bad. Also, I have terrible aim. Okay, I got the Watcher. He was my biggest concern because he can fly around, and if you don't kill him fast enough, he gets 2 other Watchers. And then you have 3 Watchers that you need to kill, and they are the most annoying enemy to hit. So that was actually an okay crawler tower. Whoop. That doesn't matter. I don't need the light rifle anymore. So I can just switch that for something else. Right here. Because now we'll get what in my eyes is probably the coolest weapon in the game. Oh, I didn't make it up. Okay, we'll see it in a second. We have the incineration cannon. Now, if you think rocket launchers and hammers are cool, look at this thing. It just goes boom and everything dies. That's a weapon. That's what I would call a weapon. It's one hell of a weapon. Unfortunately, we don't use it anymore on this tower. We only use 2 shots of it in the whole run. Both are on this tower. I am getting trolled with very late. What the? Okay. Did I get 2 night spawns on this side? What? Did I despawn a night? Are you serious? Nope. Okay, I got a very late spawn. That threw me off right there. Okay, weird. Hello? You're supposed to be... Oh, yeah, okay. I get it. So, that Watcher can actually fly underneath the tower. That was scary, because if he flies underneath the tower, he tries to fly up again, but he just flies against the bottom of the tower because he doesn't see that as a ceiling. And then you need to kill him. You can't kill him, which means he's soft lock. And that would have meant run over, and I would have had to mercy kill the run here, which would have sucked immensely. So I am really happy I didn't have to do that, because I'm pretty much right at the end. Like, it would have sucked so hard if I had to mercy kill the run here. That would be literally the only place where I would actually have to mercy kill the run. That would have sucked really hard, and I'm very happy that didn't happen. Now, we hammered these knights, and I throw a nade there so he doesn't... He has this thing he can do where he basically boosts you away from him and then jumps up into the air, and that loses a few seconds. By throwing a grenade at him, you actually prevent him from doing that. Alright, and we have time coming up in just over a minute. This entire section here is about 1 minute 7 seconds long. Yeah, it kind of makes sense. It does make sense. So right here is actually something interesting. Due to a porting issue, when 343 ported Halo 4 from 360 to DMCC, for some reason it now says press right trigger to fire machine gun, which actually isn't a thing. It's the grenade button, whatever your grenade button is. That's a really weird issue. They never bothered to fix it. I probably wouldn't fix it. So yeah, we have time coming up in just a few seconds here. And time. So that's Halo 4. Do I have time to show off one trick real quick?